Hi, Portland Fire and Rescue. I'm Jessica Cohn, your wellness coordinator. Today we're going to be going over the inverted row test. And I have J-Rob here, who has offered to demo this test. So we're going to be going over the standards and positionings of the test and how that'll work with the metronome for counting your repetitions. So the inverted row test, we're demoing it here from a squat rack with a barbell so that if you wanted to practice this, you could create this at your station. So I have a 5-inch foam block here just taped to the bar. And if your station doesn't have any yoga blocks that you could do this with, let me know. We can get them to your station. So I'm going to have Jesse go ahead and come under the squat rack. So what we're going to look at is that he maintains a 90-degree bend in his knee and a straight line from his knee to his hip to his shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and have Jesse raise up his hip. So we see he's got a 90 degrees, got a nice straight line, and see how his shoulder is actually going a little bit down. So what we want to do on this is raise the bar up just a little bit. So we raised the bar a little bit and now he has a nice straight line. We just don't want him to be too much at an angle with his head lower than his hip and his knees. And so what we're also looking at here with the hand placement is that it's outside the shoulder. So you do not need to have the hands directly over the shoulder. And we also want to make sure that when he bends his arms and pulls himself up, that we have a nice straight line from his wrist to his elbow. He's going to be placing himself directly under the foam block so that his sternum touches the foam block just like the push-up test. He's going to be at a pace of the 80 beat per minute metronome on every up repetition. That's where he would get 1 or 2 reps, so it's 40 reps per minute. The total test is 2 minutes. It would be a total of 80 inverted rows. That is a more advanced score, so we'll be looking on getting that today. Some things that, as a proctor, I would warn him about or maybe stop him if he can't correct the form would be a bend in the hip. So I'll go ahead and have Jesse demo that for me. So if he lowers his hip too much and he's pulling and his hip's too low, we would warn him to get that hip back up. And if he's unable to do that and correct that form, then we would stop him in the test. The other cue that we would warn him about is if his hip's down and he drives his hip up and uses the momentum of his hip going down and up to get him up to that foam block. So we would make sure he's not doing that because that is definitely cheating the test. So the other correction that a proctor would give is if the individual started pushing with their legs and pushing their body weight back, creating an angle from that bar. So we actually have the box here, and the boxes will be there for the inverted row test so that the individual will bump their head, and so they won't be able to angle themselves, so the proctor won't have to remind on that. But just make sure when you are practicing, you got to maintain your body and your chest directly under the bar. All right, Jesse, we ready to go?
Yep.
Start in the down position. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up,
77,
down, up,
78,
down, up,
79,
down, up,
80.
rest.
Wow, 80 again. Super impressive, Jesse. That's awesome. Nice work.
Thank you.
So that is an advanced elite score, similar to the push-up. We're looking for maybe the 30 to 40 would be a great goal, trying to get to that full minute. And we also want to try to be even with our push-ups to our inverted row so that we can keep things balanced. Similar to the push-up test, I get asked a lot on the inverted row test, how do I improve? How do I get better? And a lot of what you need to do is incorporate inverted rows into your workouts and incorporate the inverted row test into your workouts, maybe once a week or every couple weeks, once a month even is fine. And you need to practice with the metronome. So normally that's what gets people is keeping up that tempo during the exercise and not resting in between. So if you'd like to practice, here's the QR code that we made for the metronome. It has the count for you, so you can go ahead and practice and see some improvement.